Did you know that Sigma females make up only about 10% of the female population? And INFJ females, they're even rarer, only around 1% of women fit this personality type. So what happens when these two powerhouse personalities, one all about depth and the other about detachment, cross paths? Stick around, because I'm about to show you something that might just surprise you. First, let's set the scene. Sigma females, the independent introverted women who don't fit into society's norms. They create their own rules, thrive on solitude, and only connect with people who truly get them. Then, we have the INFJ females. They're known as the counselors, deep, intuitive, with an almost uncanny ability to understand emotions and pick up on hidden truths. Both are powerful in their own way. But the real question is, what happens when these two worlds collide? How do these two unique, deeply different personalities interact? Here's the thing. In some circles, Sigma and INFJ females are seen as opposites, almost rivals. INFJs with their emotional depth and Sigma females with their cool detachment. They can seem to clash, right? I mean, INFJs want to form close, meaningful bonds, while Sigma females often prefer distance, keeping people at arm's length. That's the challenge. How can they connect? How can these two, who seem like they'd never understand each other, build any sort of mutual respect? But that's where things get interesting. Let's break it down. What's the real deal between Sigma and INFJ females? I've got 8 things you need to know. 1. Independence versus depth. Sigma females are fiercely independent, like they can do it all by themselves. They don't rely on anyone to get things done. They've mastered the art of standing alone, making decisions based on their own logic, and carving out their own paths in life. For them, self-sufficiency is everything. They don't need validation from others, nor do they crave attention or approval. When they're faced with challenges, they handle them in their own way, finding solutions that work for them, not based on what others think they should do. It's not about being antisocial or rejecting the world. It's about having control over their life and living it on their own terms. Sigma females take pride in their autonomy. They don't have to answer to anyone, and that's a huge part of their identity. The power in being able to rely only on themselves gives them a sense of freedom that most people can't fully comprehend. They choose their friends and relationships based on personal connection, not societal expectations. And they thrive in spaces where they can just be themselves. On the flip side, INFJ females are the complete opposite when it comes to how they view relationships. INFJs value depth, real, emotional and meaningful connections with others. To them, surface-level conversations or shallow friendships aren't enough. They want to get to the heart of who someone truly is. When an INFJ forms a bond with someone, it's more than just an interaction. It's a profound connection that they nurture. INFJs are often seen as empaths because they're able to pick up on the subtleties of human emotions, which drives their desire to connect on a soul-deep level. They're not looking for casual friends or acquaintances. They're looking for people who match their intensity and can engage in meaningful conversations. This doesn't mean INFJs don't enjoy their solitude or their time alone. They definitely do, but when they do open up to someone, it's an all-in situation. Their connections run deep. They form bonds that are often rooted in shared values and a mutual understanding that goes beyond the surface. For an INFJ, relationships are sacred, and they often put their all into the people they choose to let into their inner circle. This can be incredibly rewarding but also exhausting, as INFJs often feel emotionally drained when they invest too much in others, especially if the relationship isn't reciprocated. So, what happens when these two women, the fiercely independent Sigma female and the deeply connected INFJ female, come into contact with each other? On one hand, the Sigma female might find herself admiring the INFJ's ability to form such strong emotional bonds, wishing she could do the same. We see it as a level of vulnerability she's not quite willing to expose. INFJs, on the other hand, might look at the Sigma female and envy her ability to be so self-reliant, detached from the need for constant emotional validation. It's not that the INFJ doesn't appreciate the depth of her own relationships, it's just that she sometimes feels like she's giving so much of herself to others that she forgets to leave space for herself. The Sigma female's independence is something the INFJ might secretly wish she could embody more fully, while the Sigma female may long for the emotional connections that the INFJ can easily create. Both admire traits in the other that they either can't access or don't feel comfortable embracing themselves. This dynamic isn't a rivalry, it's more like two pieces of a puzzle that fit together in ways neither can fully explain. Their differences, while stark, create a balance that could lead to mutual growth and understanding. If you're feeling the vibe of these differences, hit that like button, drop a comment below, and subscribe for more. Now let's move to the next point. Introversion. With a purpose. Both Sigma and INFJ females are introverts, but they retreat into themselves for different reasons. Sigma females avoid the chaos of social life because, quite frankly, they don't need it. It's not about being antisocial or rejecting the world, it's about choosing where and how they invest their energy. For a Sigma female, socializing is optional. It's not that she doesn't enjoy a good conversation or some time with people she respects. It's that she values her peace and personal space more. She doesn't feel the need to be constantly surrounded by others to feel validated. If anything, she's perfectly content being on her own, managing her own affairs, and setting her own pace. She's capable of handling things solo and finds comfort in the simplicity of it. Whether she's working on a project, thinking through ideas, or just enjoying a hobby, the Sigma female is in her element when she's left to her own devices. Her introversion isn't a reaction to social exhaustion, it's a preference for solitude and independence. The noise of the world just doesn't serve her. She's selective about who she lets into her space and doesn't feel the need to fill every moment with chatter or group activities. She's self-sufficient, and in her eyes, social engagement is only valuable when it enhances her life in meaningful ways. She's not seeking attention, validation, or even the thrill of social interactions. She's content with her own company and the quiet rhythm of her life. INFJ females, however, are introverts for a different reason. They, too, find solace in solitude, but not because they're indifferent to others or disconnected from the world. Their introversion is a response to emotional energy. INFJs are natural empaths and they absorb the emotional energy of those around them. This can be overwhelming, and it's why they pull back to recharge after intense emotional labor. Their introversion isn't about escaping noise or distractions. It's about regaining balance after pouring so much of themselves into other people. When an INFJ engages with others, whether emotionally or intellectually, it's all-consuming. They're deeply involved in the conversation or connection, often taking on the emotional weight of those they care about. This isn't a burden for them, it's part of their natural empathetic nature, but it's also draining. To an INFJ, giving their attention and energy to others is a serious investment. They feel everything deeply. So, after social interactions or emotionally charged experiences, they need time alone to process, to recharge, and to reflect. It's not that they don't enjoy connecting with others. They absolutely do. But for an INFJ, time alone is essential to maintaining their emotional health. They need space to get back to center and recover from the energy they've spent. It's almost like a reset, a chance to reconnect with their inner world. While Sigma females and INFJ females both value their alone time, their reasons for it are what set them apart. The Sigma female seeks solitude because it's where she feels most empowered and in control of her own life. She doesn't need socializing to feel alive, it's just unnecessary. On the other hand, the INFJ female pulls back to heal and rejuvenate after giving a piece of herself away. Both women have a deep need for quiet, but for different purposes. The Sigma female thrives in her independence and detachment, while the INFJ female needs time to process emotions and recharge her empathy. But in the end, both find strength in introversion. It's just a different kind of strength. One is rooted in self-sufficiency, and the other in emotional recovery. And in many ways, these two types are two sides of the same coin. If this hit home for you, don't forget to like and comment your thoughts. And make sure to subscribe for more deep dives into personality types. Let's move on. 3. The need for space. Sigma females require space to think, recharge, and be themselves. For a Sigma, having space isn't just a luxury, it's a necessity. It's not about being rude or standoffish. It's simply about needing time and room to be in their own heads, where they can think clearly and feel free. Without this space, they start to feel constrained, as if their autonomy is being invaded. It's not that they don't value relationships or social interactions, it's just that they need to have control over when and how they engage with others. For a Sigma female, peace and quiet are where she can thrive. It's in these moments of solitude that she recharges her mental batteries, gaining clarity on her thoughts, her goals, and her desires. Without space, she can feel suffocated by the constant noise and demands of the world. When she retreats into her own world, it's not a rejection of others, it's a way of regaining her strength. She's not seeking attention or validation, and she doesn't want to be smothered by constant expectations. She just wants room to be herself without the pressures of external influences. This space allows her to cultivate her independence, make decisions without influence, and be the person she truly wants to be, free from distractions or social obligations. It's in these quiet moments that she gets to reconnect with who she is, away from the noise, away from anyone else's expectations, and just focus on herself. For the Sigma female, this isn't just about physical space, it's about emotional and mental space to remain true to her own path. INFJ females, on the other hand, also crave space, but their need goes beyond just personal solitude. Yes, INFJs need space to think, but they also need it to process the overwhelming emotional energy that surrounds them. INFJs are highly intuitive and deeply empathetic. They absorb the feelings and emotions of everyone they come into contact with, and while they're incredibly good at offering advice, providing emotional support, and connecting with others on a deep level, it takes a toll on them. They feel everything deeply, so, after socializing or connecting with others, they need time alone to process all of the emotions they've absorbed. It's not just about organizing their thoughts, it's about recalibrating their emotional state and ensuring they don't carry around emotional baggage that doesn't belong to them. INFJ females need space to clear their minds and restore their emotional balance. If they don't get this time, they can feel overwhelmed or emotionally drained, unable to function at their best. They crave moments of solitude where they can regain their emotional equilibrium and reflect on everything that's happened. It's in these spaces that they heal and recalibrate, where they can let go of other people's emotions and focus on their own. While both Sigma and INFJ females need space, the reasons behind it are quite different. The Sigma female requires space to maintain her independence and autonomy, to stay in control of her own life and energy. She craves solitude to recharge, to reflect, and to remain focused on her personal goals. For her, space is a way to ensure she isn't overwhelmed by external influences. For the INFJ female, space is about emotional recovery. It's a way to process and release the emotions they absorb from others and to restore their internal peace. Both types deeply value their alone time, but one does it to preserve independence and clarity, while the other does it to heal emotionally and regain balance. These needs for space may look different on the surface, but in the end, both Sigma and INFJ females know that without it, they can't function at their best. Which is your personality type? Comment below. 4. Social dynamics. Sigma females tend to sit outside the typical social hierarchy. They don't care about being the best in a group, and honestly, they don't even try to fit into the typical social structure. While others might be scrambling to climb the social ladder or gain approval, Sigma females are simply uninterested in playing those games. They don't need to be the loudest, the most popular, or the center of attention. For them, status and recognition aren't motivating factors. They prefer to stay under the radar, carving their own path rather than following a prescribed one. This doesn't mean they're shy or incapable of taking charge when necessary. It's just that they've decided that the traditional ways of measuring success and influence don't apply to them. Sigma females don't seek validation from social norms or group dynamics. Instead, they trust their own judgment and intuition, making decisions based on what feels right for them rather than on how it will make them look in front of others. This independence allows them to approach social interactions in a relaxed, no-pressure way. They value authenticity over popularity, and they tend to form relationships with people who appreciate them for who they truly are, not based on status or outward achievements. In a group setting, Sigma females may not be the most vocal, but they still command respect because of their quiet strength and self-assurance. They know their worth, and they don't need to prove it to anyone. INFJ females, on the other hand, are often seen as quiet leaders in social settings. They may not actively seek leadership roles, but their wisdom, insight, and ability to connect with others naturally put them in a position where people look to them for guidance. INFJ, when have this magnetic quality, they're able to influence others not by force or dominance, but by offering understanding, advice, and perspective. They know how to inspire people with their vision of what could be and how to lead with empathy. It's a subtle kind of leadership, one that doesn't demand attention but earns respect. INFJs often find themselves in roles where others are drawn to them for counsel or direction, not because they seek it, but because their natural intuition and emotional intelligence make them the perfect guides. They lead not through authority, but through a quiet, steady influence that encourages those around them to grow and understand themselves better. This makes INFJ females incredibly powerful in their own way. They don't need to be loud or assertive to have an impact. Their wisdom and quiet presence are enough to command respect and help others find their way. It's an interesting dynamic when Sigma and INFJ females interact. Neither is trying to take control or dominate a situation, yet both hold unique power. The Sigma female's power lies in her independence and ability to remain true to herself without worrying about fitting in, while the INFJ female's power is in her emotional intelligence and ability to lead others with wisdom and compassion. The two might approach social dynamics differently, but together they create a balance of strength and influence that's hard to match. 5. Values and integrity. Sigma females live by their own code. They're all about self-reliance and independence, and their moral compass is unwavering. Unlike many others who may bend to fit into societal expectations or adjust their values to blend in, Sigma females stay true to themselves no matter the situation. They don't need to follow the crowd or adhere to what's normal because they know who they are and what they stand for. This internal strength gives them a clear sense of direction. They make decisions based on their own beliefs and principles, not influenced by the opinions of others. Whether it's in relationships, work, or personal goals, Sigma females have a strict set of values they live by. They'll never compromise their integrity for convenience or to please others. This unshakable commitment to their own standards means that they often walk a solitary path, but it's one that feels authentic to them. They're not swayed by external pressure, and that makes them incredibly resilient. When they choose to be part of something or connect with others, it's because they genuinely believe in it. Their loyalty isn't given lightly, but when it's earned, it's steadfast. This dedication to their own moral code is a core part of who they are and contributes to their sense of empowerment. Sigma females live life on their own terms, guided by a compass that's entirely their own. INFJ females, on the other hand, also have a solid sense of integrity, but their values are often rooted in a deeper sense of purpose. INFJs are driven by a mission to make the world better. They're passionate about helping others and creating positive change, and they often see the world through a lens of idealism. They have a deep need to align their actions with their inner values, especially when it comes to serving others and advocating for causes they care about. Integrity, for INFJs, isn't just about following their own code, it's about living in harmony with their higher mission. Whether it's through their career, relationships, or personal endeavors, they aim to live in a way that aligns with their desire to leave a meaningful impact on the world. INFJs tend to be idealists, and their values often drive them to fight for justice, equality, and the greater good. They can't ignore suffering or injustice, and it deeply affects them. When they see others in pain, they won't stand by if they can make a difference. Like Sigma females, INFJs are unwavering in their commitment to their beliefs, but their drive is often more outwardly focused, helping others, improving communities, or making societal shifts. Both types are strong in their integrity, but INFJs are more likely to channel that integrity into efforts that aim to better the world as a whole. There's respect here between Sigma and INFJ females because both women honor their values above all else. The Sigma female's unwavering commitment to her personal code and the INFJ female's dedication to a larger mission make them powerful forces in their own right. They may have different goals and ways of achieving them, but the integrity they both share creates a silent understanding between them. They recognize and respect the strength it takes to stand firm in one's values, and that mutual admiration is what links them together. If you're vibing with this, give me a thumbs up, share your thoughts below, and hit subscribe so you don't miss out on more insights. Let's move to the next one. 6. Emotional intelligence. INFJ females have this almost supernatural ability to read emotions. It's like they can sense what others are feeling, even without being told. Their intuition is so finely tuned that they can pick up on the smallest cues: body language, tone of voice, and even subtle shifts in energy. INFJs don't need someone to spell out their emotions for them. They just know, whether it's joy, sadness, frustration, or fear. INFJs can often feel the emotional currents running beneath the surface. This ability makes them incredibly empathetic and compassionate. They understand that emotions are complex and layered, and they never judge people for what they're feeling. Instead, they approach others with care and a desire to help. INFJs have a way of making people feel truly understood. They have an innate ability to connect with others on a deep emotional level, often offering guidance, support, or just a listening ear when needed. This emotional intelligence is a huge part of their appeal. They have this rare combination of wisdom and empathy that allows them to navigate complex emotional landscapes with ease. They're often the ones people turn to when they need comfort or advice, because INFJs can always tap into what someone is truly going through, even if the person doesn't say a word. Sigma females, on the other hand, may not wear their emotions on their sleeve, but they're just as sharp when it comes to understanding what others are feeling. Sigma females don't typically share their emotions openly. They prefer to keep their feelings to themselves, maintaining a sense of control and independence. But don't mistake their silence for ignorance. They're incredibly perceptive. Sigma females are keen observers of human behavior. They notice the little things that others miss: the way someone's posture changes when they're nervous, the slight tremor in their voice when they're upset, or the tension in a room when something is off. Sigma females may not express their emotions as freely as INFJs, but they know when something's wrong. They're experts at reading between the lines, picking up on the underlying energy in any situation. It's their ability to stay calm and detached that gives them an edge in understanding others. While INFJs dive deep into emotions, Sigma females take a step back and analyze the situation with a clear, objective eye. This quiet observation often goes unnoticed, but it's sharp. Sigma females can detect when someone is faking their emotions or trying to hide the truth. They're not fooled by pretenses or surface-level displays of emotion. They can tell when someone is being authentic and when they're not. This skill is invaluable in social situations, as Sigma females can navigate complex interactions with a level of insight that others may overlook, though their approaches to emotional intelligence differ. Both Sigma and INFJ females are exceptionally attuned to the emotional landscapes around them. INFJs dive deep into others' emotions with empathy and understanding, while Sigma females rely on their keen observation and intuition to detect what's beneath the surface. Both types are highly perceptive, but they use their emotional intelligence. 7. Perspective. INFJ females seek understanding and meaning in everything. They're constantly on the lookout for the deeper purpose behind every event, every conversation, and every connection. For them, nothing is ever truly random or insignificant. They ask why constantly. Why did this happen? What's the underlying cause? And what does it all mean in the grander scheme of things? They look at life through a lens of seeking truth and understanding. Every situation, no matter how small, holds lessons for them. Whether they're reflecting on a conversation with a friend or analyzing a major life event, INFJs want to understand the reasoning behind it. This need to grasp the why behind everything makes them deeply introspective, always trying to make sense of the world around them. They're the ones who look for patterns, draw connections, and believe that everything, even the smallest detail, has significance. For INFJs, understanding the reasons behind actions, behaviors, and occurrences is a way of gaining control over their environment and finding peace. They're not satisfied with surface-level explanations. They want to dig deep and uncover the layers beneath the surface. This perspective allows them to understand people at a profound level, and it fuels their desire to help others find their own meaning and purpose in life. Sigma females, though, can be more detached, while INFJs seek to understand the emotional and intellectual roots of everything. Sigma females are often less concerned with the why and more focused on the how something affects them. They don't get bogged down in the intricate details or the deeper motivations behind an event. Instead, their focus is on the immediate impact. How does this situation change things for them? How does it affect their goals, their independence, or their peace of mind? Sigma females are more concerned with the practical side of things, their personal experience, and the consequences of their interactions. They don't feel the need to analyze everything to death or to attach deep meaning to each event. For them, life is more about navigating the world with a clear sense of self and staying grounded in their own reality. They approach situations with a level of emotional detachment, choosing not to get overly involved in understanding other people's emotions or motivations unless it directly impacts them. Sigma females don't see the need to dissect every interaction. They prefer to observe, assess, and move forward based on what is useful to them. This perspective often leads them to remain calm and objective, even in emotionally charged situations, because they're not bogged down by trying to understand why something is happening. They simply want to know how it will affect them and what actions they need to take. This difference in perspective can create friction between the two types, as INFJs may feel that Sigma females are avoiding the deeper meaning behind things, while Sigma females may feel that INFJs are overcoming situations with unnecessary emotional depth. However, this difference also creates a deep source of respect. INFJs admire the Sigma female's ability to detach from unnecessary drama and keep a level head. They recognize the strength it takes to avoid getting caught up in the emotional whirlwind and instead focus on the bigger picture. On the other hand, Sigma females respect the INFJ's ability to seek out understanding and bring clarity to situations that might seem chaotic to others. Both are keen thinkers, just in different ways. The INFJ looks for meaning in everything, while the Sigma female keeps a more practical, self-oriented perspective. Together they can balance each other out, with the INFJ bringing depth and insight and the Sigma female bringing clarity and focus. Both perspectives have value, and their differences can lead to growth and mutual respect. If you're enjoying this breakdown, don't forget to like, comment, and hit subscribe. Moving on to our next point. 8. Mutual admiration. While INFJs might admire the Sigma female's ability to stand alone and not need anyone's approval, Sigma females might secretly respect how deeply the INFJ can understand and connect with others. INFJs, who are often deeply attuned to the emotions and needs of those around them, see the Sigma female's independence as something admirable. They recognize how rare it is for someone to be so self-sufficient, so comfortable in their own skin, without the need for external validation. INFJs understand the pressure that comes with trying to fit in or seeking approval from others, and they see the Sigma female as someone who effortlessly steps outside of that system. The Sigma female's ability to remain true to herself, regardless of societal expectations, resonates with the INFJ's desire to live authentically. INFJs value integrity and authenticity above all else, so when they see a Sigma female living life on her own terms without needing the approval of others, it commands their respect. It's a kind of strength they aspire to in some ways. INFJs often put others' needs before their own, and they tend to be very giving in their relationships, so they admire the Sigma female's ability to prioritize herself and maintain strong boundaries. This balance between independence and emotional depth is something that INFJs recognize as truly powerful. On the flip side, Sigma females might secretly respect how deeply the INFJ can understand and connect with others. While Sigma females often keep their emotions and thoughts close to the chest, INFJs are able to open up emotionally and connect with others on a profound level. Sigma females might find this level of emotional intelligence and connection both intriguing and admirable. They may not necessarily express it, but deep down they respect the INFJ's ability to make others feel seen and understood. The Sigma female may not be as open or willing to engage emotionally in the same way as an INFJ, but she recognizes the power in the INFJ's ability to break through emotional barriers and offer genuine empathy. The INFJ's ability to connect so deeply with people, to understand not only their words but their feelings, is something Sigma females don't take lightly. While Sigma females tend to avoid deep emotional engagements, they have a quiet appreciation for the way INFJs can create lasting bonds based on true understanding. It's a kind of emotional depth that they may not feel comfortable with themselves but can't help but admire in others. There's a certain grace and skill to the INFJ's emotional awareness that the Sigma female respects, even if she doesn't openly express it. In the end, both the Sigma and the INFJ females have a lot to admire in each other. The Sigma female's independence and emotional detachment are qualities the INFJ deeply respects, and the INFJ's emotional depth and ability to connect with others are qualities the Sigma female secretly holds in high regard. They may approach life and relationships differently, but these differences create a mutual respect that forms the foundation of a powerful, yet quiet admiration between them. Both women value authenticity, but they express it in different ways, and that's what makes their connection so special. They complement each other, and their differences only make their admiration for each other stronger. So, here's the game-changing moment. Despite all their differences, there's this undeniable, almost magnetic mutual admiration between Sigma and INFJ females. The INFJs, with all their emotional depth, might look at the Sigma's effortless detachment and secretly envy it. They wish they could maintain that kind of emotional distance in their relationships, where they don't feel the weight of every emotion they absorb. INFJs often give so much of themselves in their connections that they sometimes find themselves drained. So the Sigma's ability to step back and stay emotionally independent is something they deeply respect. They wonder how it feels to be so self-sufficient, to not be swayed by the emotional ups and downs of the people around them. At the same time, Sigma females might look at the INFJ's deep understanding of people and wonder what it's like to connect with others on such an intuitive, almost effortless level. Sigma females can be a bit more detached from the emotional world, often keeping their feelings to themselves, and while they value their independence, they may find themselves intrigued by how easily INFJs seem to navigate complex emotional landscapes. How does it feel to really know someone? To dive so deep into their emotions and walk through life with that kind of connection? It's something Sigma females don't often experience, but they can't help but admire it in the INFJ. Fascinating, though, is that neither of them is wrong. They're not at odds with each other. They're just two sides of the same coin, learning from each other in subtle but meaningful ways. The Sigma female might feel more secure in her emotional detachment, but in that, she's learning the value of letting go and embracing vulnerability from the INFJ. Meanwhile, the INFJ, in all her emotional depth, can learn from the Sigma's ability to maintain boundaries and stay grounded in herself. Both women possess something the other wishes they could fully tap into, and together, in their shared understanding of each other's strengths, they're able to quietly complement one another. It's almost like these two personalities are completing each other without even realizing it. There's a soft, silent exchange happening, one that brings growth, understanding, and mutual respect between them, even in their differences. At the end of the day, the Sigma female and the INFJ female have so much more in common than they might initially think. Sure, they're different, but that's what makes their connection so intriguing. One is about emotional depth, the other about independence, but both are strong, insightful, and unique in their own way. Whether it's the Sigma's quiet strength and self-sufficiency or the INFJ's emotional intelligence and ability to connect, there's a power in both these women that deserves to be celebrated. And honestly, when they come together, it's a reminder that sometimes depth and detachment can coexist in perfect harmony. It's a beautiful, balanced dynamic, one where each woman's strength enhances the other's. Now, I want to hear from you Sigma males. I know you're out there. What do you think about the INFJ and Sigma female dynamic? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'm curious to hear how you see these two types interacting and where you think they complement each other the most. And hey, if you want to keep exploring personality types and diving deeper into the dynamics of different personalities, check out my next video. I promise it's just as powerful. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. Keep the conversation going.